Hello, everyone! Some stories don't begin with love at first sight. Some begin with silence, with longing glances across winding roads and hearts caught between duty and desire. TU DIEP never planned to fall in love with the CEO, and she certainly didn't expect a quiet man named Viet to one day risk everything for a chance at her heart. But in the quiet countryside where the sun barely breaks through the mist and secrets move faster than wind through bamboo, one choice will change 3 lives forever. What happens when love isn't about choosing between 2 men, but between 2 fates? The morning sun rose lazily over the quiet village, where dewdrops still clung to the leaves like forgotten promises. TU DIEP walked slowly along the uneven dirt road, balancing a bundle of freshly picked bamboo shoots over one shoulder. Her every step stirred the dust, and every breath carried the scent of the forest behind her. It was supposed to be an ordinary day. But nothing had felt ordinary since James came into her life. A city man with soft hands and sharp eyes, James stood out in the village like a swan among sparrows. Yet beneath his tailored suits and leather shoes, he had slowly learned the rhythm of country life. He came often to survey the surrounding forest for his conservation project. At first, he barely noticed TU DIEP. Then he began lingering, asking questions, staying longer. She never meant to love him. And yet, today though, her thoughts were tangled because of Viet. Viet had always been there. The boy who once helped her carry water buckets during a drought, now grown into a man with quiet strength and watchful eyes. He rarely said much, but a week ago, he finally broke his silence. TU DIEP, he said, his voice trembling but clear, "I've kept this inside me for too long. I love you." She had frozen. Her heart stuttered, not from surprise, but from sorrow. Because she couldn't return that love. Her heart belonged to someone else. Still, Viet's words lingered like fog that refuses to lift. And when she reached the market, selling her shoots to old women with toothless grins and bartering farmers, her mind wasn't on the money. It was on the memory of those eyes, Viet's eyes, looking at her like she was her entire sky. On the way home, the wind shifted, and trouble came like a whisper. 2 men, strangers to her village, stood in the middle of the road. They didn't smile kindly. One leaned in, licking his teeth like a predator. "Pretty girl like you shouldn't walk alone," he sneered. TU DIEP clutched her bundle tighter and stepped back. "Please, I don't know you." A rough hand grabbed her arm, and then a voice like thunder. "Let her go." Viet appeared as if summoned by her fear. His fists flew before words could, knocking one man flat with a crunch. The other ran. And TU DIEP, shaking, heart-pounding, looked at Viet like he was someone she no longer recognized. He helped her up gently, his hand warm on her shoulder. "You're safe now." Later, when he walked her home in silence, her gratitude burned into something else, guilt. Because James was already there, waiting in the garden, peeling a grapefruit like a man who had no idea his world was about to shift. It was dusk when Viet helped TU DIEP back to the hut. The heavy rain had finally stopped, leaving the air damp, heavy with the smell of mud and rotting leaves. The slippery mountain path was now dark, with only the faint light from the oil lamp in front of the hut flickering in the darkness. James stood at the door. He said nothing as Viet walked up, his shirt soaked, one arm around TU DIEP's waist. Their eyes met for a brief second, heavy as a rock falling into a deep stream. Viet nodded slightly, his voice low and concise. "She's fine, nothing serious, but she should go to bed early tonight. She's tired." TU DIEP was still leaning against Viet, her breathing still uneven. James stepped forward, but didn't touch her. His eyes stopped at Viet's hand, holding her elbow. A very light touch, but very personal. "Thank you," James said. "Thank you very much." Viet nodded again, his eyes not leaving TU DIEP. "I'm leaving. Good night." He turned away, took the motorcycle key from his pocket. The sound of the engine started after a few starts, then gradually disappeared into the forest, leaving a strange silence. Now there was only James and TU DIEP. She suddenly felt cold, not because of the weather. James walked in first, not saying anything. He took a dry towel from the drying rack and gave it to her. TU DIEP sat down by the fire, gently pressing her hand to her chest. Her heart was still pounding, not sure if it was because of the rain or because of James's gaze just now. He sat down on the other side of the fire, attentively blowing on the fire. After a long while, he spoke. "Are you okay?" TU DIEP nodded. "I'm fine. Luckily, Viet is here." She didn't answer. The fire burned small, the light reflecting on the earthen wall, creating distorted shadows. James continued, "You shouldn't have gone into the woods alone. You know that, right?" TU DIEP squeezed her hand. I wanted some peace." "And you came to Viet?" This time she looked up. Their eyes met in the firelight. There was no anger, just something deeper. Doubt, hurt, and fear. "Viet was the one I trusted," she replied softly. "At that time, it was only him." James leaned back against the wall of the hut. He exhaled, his eyes looking up at the thatched roof. A light rain still pattered on the roof. "I don't blame you," he said. "It's just, I don't know where I stand in this." TU DIEP, "Do you love me?" TU DIEP was silent. Her heart clenched. The question was simple, but so heavy that she could barely speak. "I love you," she said at last. But that one word, "but," was enough. James smiled faintly. "But I also need someone more like me, someone who can speak the language of the forest, understand the sound of the stream, know when to plant corn and when to climb the hill." She bowed her head, tears streaming down her face. "You're not the one, are you?" he asked, his voice shaking for the first time. "You're so different," she said. "It's not your fault, but every time you try to fit in, I feel lost, and I feel lost with you." James stood up. He walked to the door, standing there for a long time. The rain began to fall again, mingling with the night wind. "I'm going back to the city tomorrow," he said, without turning back. "I think we both need a break." TU DIEP didn't stop him. She just sat there, by the fire, listening to his footsteps fade away, then the door closed behind her. The next morning, the shack was empty. James was gone. Only the towel he had left behind, still warm, and a small note under her pillow. "I never wanted to give up, but maybe this time I have to learn to let you choose." What seemed clear now becomes unclear. Who does she love? Who are they in their lives? And most importantly, does the line between gratitude, love, and running away still exist when everything falls apart? The answer will not come the next morning. Maybe it will come with the next rain, or never. Thank you for following the story. If you have ever been at a crossroads like TU DIEP, please share your thoughts.